Не кажеш една дума, си отива да вкъщи.
Can I do a nursing home to this?
Краката ми напред. Започни с nama и всичките горко мелодии. Сещаш ли се горко мелодии? Кои са горко мелодиите? Кажи ми, кои са горко мелодиите? Да. Запомни какъв ти е таргета, силно пееш на микрофон. Добре си тръгна, обещавам ти го. Заради тази забележка ще го спрата вкъщи след кратки.
She wrote the Gokulan on the key.
Повтори.
She wrote the Gokulan on the key. She Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman the key. Krishna Krishna Namaste Narasingaya. Hiranyakashipurakshah Shilatankanakalaye Dona Singo para Dona Singo Toya mitai Dona Singo Bahir na Singo Ridaye na Singo Nara Singamadim Sharanam Prapadye Davakara Kamala Paranaka Adbhuta Shengam Talita Hiranyakashipur Tano Brenga Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Nasingadev, Jaya Nasingadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Shri Nrsimhadev ki, Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki, Gopini.
So Hare Krishna, thank you everyone for coming. We'll be serving Mahaprasad in Sri Krishna Haveli very shortly. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, oh Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I'll do another quick one. Hare Krishna, wait. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nanda Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki. Srila Prabhupada ki.
My back. Oh, my back.
Madame never gets left on the floor. Madame never touches the floor. Hare Krishna, for those of you that don't know, prasadam is being served in the Haveli. So in case anybody is hungry, you can make your way down the steps to the courtyard on this side of me as I'm pointing. And on the right hand side you'll find the room. You can see through the glass windows. There is where they are serving prasadam. In the meantime, in this sacred space, we are going to be continuing our reading of Krishna book. And this is very important and very advantageous to anybody who has nowhere else to be. Then we have a wonderful opportunity to hear about Krishna, for which this temple exists, really, so that people can come and hear about Krishna and chant his holy names in the association of devotees. First, let me offer some prayers to the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his immediate expansion, Lord Nityananda, his incarnation, Advaita Acharya, his internal energy, Sri Gadadhar, and his Tatastha Shakti, marginal potency, Sri Srivas Thakur. And to the Lordships, Shri Shri Radha Madana Mohan, Shri Shri Radha Govinda Dev, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath, who are the presiding deities of Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana, Tattva. Vande Guru Nisha Bhakta Nisha Misha Vatarakam Tat Prakasham Shatat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Samshnakam Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Saurita Gauraraye Pushpavanta Chitraushanda Tamonada Yaradvaitam Brahmopanishadi Tarapyasya Tanubha Ya Atmantaryami Purushiti Sosyam Shavibhava Shadaishvaryay Purnoya Iha Bhagavan Saswayamayam Chaitanya Krishna Jagati Paratatvam Paramiha Anarpita Charim Chirat Karunaya Vatirna Kalau Samarpaitum Munatojvalarasam Swabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundara Dyuti Karambasandi Pita Sada Hridaya Kandare Spuratu Vashacinandana Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Hladini Shakti Rasmat Ekatmana Vapipu Viparade Habedam Gatautau Chaitanyakyam Prakatamaduna Tatvayam Chaikyamaptam Radha Bhava Duti Suvalitam Nami Krishna Svarupam Shri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima Kirtishovanayaiva Svadhyoye Nadbhuta Madhurima Kirtishova Mariya Saukyam Chasya Maranubhavata Kirtisham Veti Lobhat Tadbhavadya Samajani Shachi Garbha Sindhu Harindu Sankarshana Karanato Yashayi Garbhodashayi Chapayobdishayi Sheshaschayasyam Shakalasya Nityanandakya Rama Sharanamamastu Mayatite Vyapi Vaikuntaloke Purnashvarye Shri Chaturvyuha Madhye Rupam Yasyodbhati Sankarshanakyam Tam Shri Nityananda Ramam Prapadye Maya Bharta Janda Sangha Shayanga Shete Sakshat Karanam Bhoti Madhye Yasyakam Shashri Pumanari Devas Tam Shri Nityananda Ramam Prapadye Yasyam Shamsha Shri Lagarbhodashayi Yannabhyajam Loka Sanghatanalam Loka Srashtu Sutika Dhammadhastus Tam Shri Nityananda Ramam Prapadye Yasyam Sham Shamsha Paratma Kilanam Poshta Vishnur Bhati Dugdhabdishayi Kshauni Bharta Yatkala Sopyanam Tas Tam Shri Nityananda Ramam Prapadye Mahavishnu Jagatkarta Mayaya Sarjatyara Tasyavatara Evayam Advaitacharya Ishvara Advaitam Harina Advaitad Acharyam Bhakti Samshanat Bhaktavataram Ishantam Advaita Charyam Ashraye Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Jayatam Surata Pango Mama Mandamatir Gati Matsarvasva Param Bhoja Radha Madana Mohana Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpatrumadha Srimad Ratna Simhasanastau Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Deva Prishtali Bi Sevyamana Smarami Sriman Rasarasaram Bivam Shiva Tatatastita Karshan Venusvanar Gopir Gopinata Shriyestuna Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda Etina Thakur Goriya Ke Kariya Na Atmasat Etinera Charana Vandong Tine Moranata Grantherarambhe Kari Mangala Charana Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana Tinara smarane hoya Vigna vinashana Anayase hoya nija Vanchita purana. So let us continue our reading of Krishna book. And yesterday we began to hear the prayers of King Muchukunda, whom Krishna delivered from the cave in the hillside. Having left Mathura and traveled there on foot, being pursued by the demonic king Kalayavana. Kalayavana entered the cave, saw a man sleeping, kicked him, did not know who it was, and paid the ultimate price. He was burned to ashes by the sleeping Muchukunda, who was untimely awoken. And then Krishna came before King Muchukunda to offer him benedictions, because he was a great devotee of the Lord. And Muchukunda began to recite wonderful, instructive prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And for me personally, from yesterday's reading, one of the things that struck me very significantly, very deeply, was that the Lord said, "It is my eternal principle to fulfill all the desires of anyone who takes shelter of me." This is very encouraging words from the Lord, that He is careful and, yes, very much concerned to uplift and protect and fulfill the desires of His devotees. Of course, His real devotees have nothing to desire in this material world. And that is also Krishna's blessing. But they have transcendental desires to satisfy the senses of Krishna. So King Muchukunda was giving very instructive prayers about how this material body is temporary, it is destined to perish, and somehow or other we are very puffed up in spite of our tottering position, our precarious, temporary position in this material world. Still we're very puffed up with some temporary acquisitions, possessions, status. This is all illusion. So the king says, yet in spite of our being so absorbed in material thought, inevitable time, which is only a form of yourself, is always careful about its duty. And as soon as the allotted time is over, your lordship immediately ends all the activities of our material dreams. As the time factor, you end all our activities. As the hungry black snake swiftly swallows up a small rat without any leniency. Right? Time is ruthless, merciless, and undefeated. Due to the action of cruel time, the royal body, which was always decorated with gold ornaments during life, and which moved on a chariot drawn by beautiful horses or on the back of an elephant, nicely decorated with golden ornaments, and which was advertised as the king of human society, that same royal body decomposes under the influence of inevitable time and becomes fit for being eaten by worms and insects, or being turned into ashes or the stool of an animal. You can be a very big man, driving in a golden chariot, or a fancy, expensive Bugatti, Ferrari, or something else, Lamborghini. Anyway, so many expensive cars there are. But at the end of your life, your body is destined to be eaten by worms, insects, or turned into ashes with the stool of an animal. This beautiful body may be nice while in a living condition, but after death, even the body of a king is eaten by an animal and therefore turns into stool, or is cremated in the crematorium and turned into ashes, or is put into an earthly grave where different kinds of worms and insects are produced out of it. So 3 destinations, three fates for the body, right? Either you will be eaten by an animal, not you, but the body, because you're not the body, you're the soul. The body will be eaten by an animal, it'll be burnt to ashes, or it will decompose in the earth and worms and insects will be produced from it. Doesn't matter who you are, there's no other destiny for this body, whether you're a king or a pauper. King Muchukunda continues, "My dear Lord, not only do we become under the full control of this inevitable time after death, but also while living in a different way. For example, I may be a powerful king, and yet when I come home, after conquering over the world, I become subjected to many material conditions. It may be that when I come back after being victorious, all subordinate kings come and offer their respects. But as soon as I enter into the inner section of my palace, I myself become an instrument in the hands of the queens, and for sense gratification I have to fall down at the feet of women. The material way of life is so complicated that before taking the enjoyment of material life, one has to work so hard, and there is scarcely an opportunity for enjoying. And to attain the youthful condition with all material facilities, one has to undergo severe austerities and penances and become elevated to the heavenly planets. If one gets the opportunity of taking birth in a very rich or royal family, even then in that condition, he is always anxious to maintain the status quo and prepare for the next life by performing various kinds of sacrifices and by distributing charity. Even in the royal condition of life, one is not only full of anxieties because of political administration, but he is also in anxiety over being elevated to heavenly planets. So King Muchukunda is describing his own personal experience, how this material life is filled with anxieties, no matter what one may apparently enjoy in terms of wealth or status. Always some anxiety, always someone pulling our strings. It is therefore very difficult to get out of the material entanglement. But somehow or other, if one is favored by you, by your mercy only, he is given the opportunity to associate with a pure devotee. Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhaktivedanta Jiva, Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhaktivedanta Beach. After wandering through lakhs and lakhs of species and planets in this material universe, if one is fortunate, if one is a Bhagyavan Jiva, then one gets the Bhakti Lata Beej, one gets the seed of devotional service from the spiritual master, from a bona fide guru who represents Krishna. And that is Krishna's first mercy, that he puts us in touch with his representative. My dear Lord, only by the association of your pure devotees is one entrapped by your lordship, who is the controller of both the material and spiritual existences. Sorry, the sentence before Srila Prabhupada writes, okay, Let's actually just begin at the paragraph. It is therefore very difficult to get out of the material entanglement, but somehow or other, if one is favored by you, by your mercy only, he is given the opportunity to associate with the pure devotee. So the first mercy is Krishna's mercy. Krishna's first mercy is that he puts us in contact with the pure devotee of Krishna. That is Krishna's first mercy. And then by the mercy of that devotee, one can get Krishna. Every morning, the devotees sing in Mangalarti, Yasya Prasadad Bhagavat Prasado. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one can receive Krishna's mercy. So our first business is to please Krishna's representative. But how do we meet Krishna's representative? How do we get his connection? That is only by Krishna's mercy. By Krishna's mercy, he sends the spiritual master. So Muchukunda says here, somehow or other, if one is favored by you, by your mercy only, by your mercy only, he is given the opportunity to associate with the pure devotee. So it's Krishna's mercy that we get the opportunity to associate with the pure devotee. So if we want the association of a pure devotee so that we can attain all perfection, we should be asking Krishna, crying to Krishna, please give me the association of your dear devotee who can deliver you to me. That is the beginning point of liberation from the entanglement of material conditional life. My dear Lord, only by the association of pure devotees is one entrapped by your Lordship, who is the controller of both the material and spiritual existences. So right now we are entrapped within this material existence, and it is causing us so many problems, so many miseries. We want to be entrapped by Krishna, because that entrapment is blissful entrapment. You are the supreme goal of all pure devotees, and by association with pure devotees, one can develop his dormant love for you. Therefore, development of Krishna consciousness in the association of pure devotees is the cause of liberation from this material entanglement. Who here is interested in liberation from this material entanglement? Please raise your hand if you're at all interested in liberation from this material entanglement. Nobody's interested, huh? We all want to stay in this material world, to suffer birth, old age, sickness, and death. Right? Everybody's into that program? And once it's finished, we have another go at it, another crack. Thousands of cracks, millions of cracks, gazillions, life after life, not just in a human body, but there are 8,400,000 varieties of species in which one can take birth. Right? We're all enamored by the activities of small children. Yes? Very cute. Their speech is adorable. Yeah? And we are enamored by this in household life. But how long does that last? They grow up. We grow old. And we are forced to die and say goodbye to everything that we hold dear. So Krishna says that one of the items of knowledge is to perceive the evils of birth, old age, disease, and death. Dukkha doshana darshanam. That one should perceive how these things are actually an evil imposition. Birth, old age, disease, and death. So again, I'm asking, who wants liberation from this material entanglement? Who's interested? Okay, one person is interested. All right. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, why are we not jumping up and down? Saying, yes, please, get me out of here as quickly as possible. I want the first express ticket out of this material world because it's so botheration, so much trouble. Why not? Because we think we're fine. It's not so bad. What is this not so bad? What is this nice? It's like you're in an ocean and someone has your head, holding your head under the water. Yes? And you're drowning. And every so often they allow you up to take a gasp of air. And in that moment where you take your gasp of air, you're thinking, this is nice. This is nice. Yeah? That's material happiness. But we're so foolish, we don't know that the very next moment, again, we will be pushed down. Again, we will be in lamentation, anxiety, fear, distress, suffering, loss, pain. Right? And we're looking forward to the next gasp of air. Okay, have your next gasp of air. And again, be pushed down. Suffering. This is the story of the material world. Right? There is no permanent relief in this material world. If we want permanent relief, if we want to be truly happy, then we must attain liberation. Krishna is the giver of liberation, therefore his name is Mukunda. Only Krishna can give liberation. So while we have this human body, we should take it very seriously. We should be very keen to understand Krishna and my relationship with Krishna. We should be very keen to take up the practice of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the process given in this age for realizing God. The cats and the dogs, they can't do this. If you have a cat body, a dog body, a mouse body, a fox body, a pigeon body, tiger body, snake body, how many bodies there are. But any of these animal bodies will not help you to get out of this material world. Human body is especially afforded for the purpose of perfection, perfecting one's consciousness. And perfect consciousness means Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna is the soul of all souls, the self of all selves. We are his parts and parcels, tiny parts and parcels. We belong to Krishna, actually. We think I belong to myself, and everything in my orbit is mine. This is a great illusion. Everything belongs to God, including not just this body, but my very soul is God's property. I belong to God. If there's no God, there's no me. I don't have a separate existence. I didn't will myself into existence. Right? I mean, how you could will yourself into existence if you don't exist in the first place is quite a conundrum. But the point is that we are only here because Krishna is here. So our life and our happiness is entirely dependent on that relationship with Krishna. So what are we doing about it? Well, we're doing something about it by coming to the Hare Krishna temple and hearing about Krishna. This is certainly progress on the path of spiritual realization. And the more we hear about Krishna, the more Krishna becomes pleased to help us reach him more and more. So King Muchukunda continues here. My dear Lord, you are so merciful. Oh, by the way, this is not a formal lecture. If anybody has any thoughts or wants to discuss any of the points that are raised, or anyone has any question, you're free to raise anything that's on your mind in response to what you're hearing. Okay? And in this way, our topic becomes more relishable and we can deepen our understanding. So don't be shy. I was supposed to set up an internet stream. Anyway, because this is going on YouTube, live on Manor Media, and there are people listening also. And yesterday I said that I would set that up or so I could see it if anyone has any questions online. But being a conditioned soul and prone to making mistakes, then I failed. So I'm sorry anyone online who has a question. Maybe next time I will remember. Okay. King Muchukunda says, my dear Lord, you are so merciful. that in spite of my being reluctant to associate with your great devotees, you have shown your extreme mercy upon me as a result of my slight contact with a pure devotee like Garga Muni. So King Muchukunda got the association of Garga Muni. He's recognizing that this was not due to any merit on my own part. This was due to your extreme mercy, Krishna. By your extreme mercy, I got the association of your devotee. And by a moment's association with a pure devotee, all of perfection is possible. Mercy means that it's not something that I deserved. I didn't work for it. It was given to me freely. He says, by your causeless mercy only have I lost all my material opulence, my kingdom, and my family. Who would imagine that that's mercy? Right? If you came and said to me, I have lost all my material opulences, all my wealth, gone. I was a king and my kingdom is lost. My family, gone, lost. How many of us would say this is all Krishna's mercy on me? It's Krishna's mercy that I've lost all of these things. Right? Many of us would be infuriated, blaming God. How could you do this? Why have you taken all these things away? It's not fair. Why? Because we don't know the purpose of existence. That is why. He says, I do not think that I could have gotten rid of all these entanglements without your causeless mercy. So he's actually describing that material opulence, kingdom, and my temporary relationships, these were all entanglements. And I could not have gotten rid of them without your causeless mercy. Kings and emperors accept the life of austerity to forget the royal condition of life. But by your special causeless mercy, I have already been bereft of the royal condition. Other kings exert themselves to get out of the attachment of kingdom and family by acceptance of the hardships of renunciation. But by your mercy, I do not need to become a mendicant or to practice renunciation. So in the good old days, it would be expected that at a certain age, the king would renounce his position and facilities in order to prepare for death. So he would leave the kingdom in charge of the responsible heir, and he himself would go off to practice austerities, usually in the forest. But in this day and age, the so-called kings or ministers of state, they cling on for dear life to their positions and their power as long as possible, unwilling to let go until they are kicked out by the disgruntled populace. So King Muchukunda, he's admitting that I did not need to voluntarily do that. I lost all these things in the natural course of time because he went off to serve the demigods in their great battle against the demons. And by the time he got back, everything had changed. Because time moves faster, you can say, in the heavenly planets. I think one day in the heavenly planets is 6 months on Earth. So when he arrived back to Earth, much time had passed, and everything that he previously owned had vanished. He says, my dear Lord, I therefore pray that I may simply be engaged in rendering transcendental loving service unto your lotus feet, which is the ambition of the pure devotees who are freed from all kinds of material contamination. Right? Pure devotees are only interested in serving Krishna, no other desire. That means serving Krishna is actually the happiness we're all looking for. Everyone's looking for happiness, right? Each of us, we want to be happy, and we want to avoid things that give us distress. So Krishna's devotees, they're completely satisfied in the Lord's service. They want for nothing That means that shelter at Krishna's lotus feet and service to the Lord is real happiness. It's actually the constitutional position of happiness, natural happiness. And we should try it. If we're not happy and we're searching for happiness, then let us take up the method of serving Krishna, pleasing Krishna. And that begins with hearing. So this is a wonderful opportunity because we're hearing from a pure devotee of Krishna in this book. And by this hearing process, then it's considered we're rendering service, especially if we are attentively and seriously eager to hear Krishna's message. This is service we're doing. Simply by coming to the temple and hearing about Krishna, chanting his holy names with devotees, this is service. King Muchakunda says, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you can offer me anything I want, including liberation. But who is such a foolish person that after pleasing you, he would ask from you something which might be the cause of entanglement in this material world?" Right? Krishna can give me anything, but who would be so foolish as to ask him for something material which would keep one in this world? I do not think any sane man would ask such a benediction from you. I therefore surrender unto you because you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are the Supersoul living in everyone's heart, and you are the impersonal Brahman effulgence. Right, Krishna means Bhagavan, Paramatma, and Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His expansion, who goes everywhere, he's local. We say localized expansion. Krishna enters into everything. He enters into everyone's heart. Therefore, he's called localized expansion, Supersoul. And he also has his own energy, his effulgence, his impersonal effulgence, which is known as Brahman. Moreover, King Muchakunda says, you are also this material world, because this material world is only the manifestation of your external energy. So anything we're looking at right now, what are we looking at right now? I'm looking at the floor, the pattern, all of you, the walls, the door, the pictures, the gates. Everything that I'm seeing is only Krishna's energy. It's all Krishna's energy. It's nothing else. It comes from Krishna, all of it. There's nothing except Krishna. Therefore, from any angle of vision, you are the supreme shelter for everyone. Everyone, either in the material plane or in the spiritual plane, must take shelter under your lotus feet. I therefore submit unto you, my Lord. For many, many births I have been suffering from the threefold miseries of this material existence. And I am now tired of it. Does anybody know what these threefold miseries are? He specifically mentions threefold miseries. 3 types of miseries that everybody experiences in this world. And he says, I'm now tired of it. Are we tired of it? Okay, first of all, what are they? Anyone knows? What are the 3? Okay, first of all, Adhyatmic klesha. This means miseries that we experience from this body and this mind. Right? People are very concerned in this day and age about mental health. Right? I have to protect my mental health. What does that mean? It means that a lot of the time, or most of the time, you're in danger of being mentally unhealthy. Otherwise, why do you have to protect your mental health? So this mind is giving you trouble. It's the diseased mind, constantly giving us pain with its blabbering, its lamentation, its hankering. Yes, its disturbance, disturbed mind. So we're suffering with this disturbed mind, and we think it is me. It's not me. The mind is not I. The mind is a material energy of Krishna. Yeah? But I identify very strongly with it. And the body, I don't need to go through all of the different sufferings we experience from the gross material body. Yeah, you stub your toe on the bedpost. How much pain is there, right? You're just your little toe. What to speak of all of the other ills and injuries that one can endure. Okay, so that's adhyatmic klesha. Then another one, the second one we can say, is adhibhautic klesha, which means other living things giving me trouble. Yeah, the mosquito bites, the baby screams in my ear all night. Someone at work has it in for me. Yeah, they want to get me fired or something. Yeah, someone else wants to sue me. Right? Someone wants to burgle my house and take my things. From so many ways, people are out to get me, it seems. Or not, but one way or another, other living creatures, including human beings, may give me some trouble. Yeah? And I'm suffering as a result of what they do, what they say in my direction. So that's adhibhautic klesha, suffering from other living entities. And then we have adhidaivik klesha, which means sufferings endured by the grace of the demigods who are in control of heat, light, rain, the conditions, the environmental conditions. It's too hot, it's too cold. Right? There's a tsunami coming. There's a hurricane. The volcano just erupted and now we must evacuate. Yeah? These conditions giving trouble. So these are the threefold miseries of material existence. And King Muchukunda says, I am now tired of it. I have simply been impelled by my senses and I was never satisfied. Yeah? The senses are dictating, go here, go there, eat this, enjoy that. Right? But never satisfied. Kamarinam katina katita palita durnideshas. Tesham jata mayna karana natrapa nopashanti. Utsurjaitam atayadupate sampratam labda bhutis tvamayata sharanamapayam. Mam niyukshvat madasyayam. I think this is Srila Rupa Goswami's verse. For so long I've been serving these senses and their demands, their lusty demands. But no matter how much I serve them, they don't give me any relief from their service. They just demand more and more and more. They're never satisfied. It's endless. I think that I've satisfied these senses, but they come back demanding more satisfaction. But when my intelligence is awakened in Krishna consciousness, I no longer need to serve the demands of these senses. Because Krishna, who is Hrishikesh, the controller of the senses, master of the senses, he protects me and engages my senses, or rather his senses, they're his senses. He engages them in his service. This is the only way to control the senses. Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam. We have to engage this body, this mind, these senses in serving Krishna with love. That is the only way to control the senses. Because the senses need engagement, activity. So they must have a better engagement, better employment. King Muchukunda says, I therefore take shelter of your lotus feet, which are the source of all peaceful conditions of life, and which can eradicate all kinds of lamentation caused by material contamination. My dear Lord, you are the supersoul of everyone, and you can understand everything. Now I am free from all contamination of material desire. I do not wish to enjoy this material world, nor do I wish to take advantage of merging into your spiritual effulgence. Nor do I wish to meditate upon your localized aspect of Paramatma, Supersoul. For I know that simply by taking shelter of you, I shall become completely peaceful and undisturbed. So this is his realization. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that one should meditate upon me as one who knows everything. This is very comforting to understand that God knows everything, and He also knows everything about you. He knows your history. He knows your present condition, your struggles, your pleasures, your hopes, your fears, your plans. He knows everything. But King Muchukunda comes to the conclusion that if I take shelter of Krishna alone, I shall become completely peaceful and undisturbed. This is the only platform by which to attain peace. Because Krishna is our real, true, ultimate rest. Everyone is looking for shelter, home, safety. Constitutionally, Krishna is the shelter of everyone. Nityo nityanam chaitanas chaitananam eko bahanam yovridhati kamam. There is one supreme conscious eternal being who is the shelter and the maintainer of innumerable tiny conscious eternal beings. So He is our natural shelter. It's a natural relationship. Just as the little sparks of the fire have a natural connection with the fire. And when they're close to the original flame, then their fiery quality is clear. The heat and the light are apparent. But if they drift too far from the fire, then they appear to be extinguished. Extinguished. So Muchukunda's realization here is that if I take shelter of you, the supreme source, right, the central flame, I will be peaceful and undisturbed. He's not interested in anything of this material world. Not interested in trying to enjoy separately, because that's the problem. Trying to enjoy separately when we're not separate. How can we enjoy separately when we're fundamentally, constitutionally, not separate? We must be connected, or remember our connection to God. And remember how everything else is connected to God. Then we can enjoy. Krishna is enjoying. Srila Prabhupada would give the example. You can go on your bicycle, I don't know, let's say you're going at 20 miles an hour. But if you can attach yourself to a car, a truck that's going at 50 miles an hour, then you also go 50 miles an hour. So we're all trying to enjoy, but Krishna is enjoying, actually. He is the greatest enjoyer. So if we cooperate with Krishna's enjoyment, we'll enjoy, really. This is factual enjoyment, just like the hand. The hand is a healthy hand when it puts food in the stomach. So the hand serves the complete body. Then the hand is a healthy hand. But if the hand thinks, why am I serving the body? Why can't I just serve myself? Yeah, let me take the rasgulla and mush it up and try to absorb the rasgulla. That will not work. It cannot separately enjoy that rasgulla. It must supply the rasgulla to the mouth. It must supply the rasgulla to the stomach. Then the energy from the rasgulla comes back to the hand. So we are like the little limb, little part of Krishna. If we serve Krishna, we will find that we are satisfied. We are also benefited. Yeah? By serving the root, then every limb, every branch is nourished. We have to serve the root. You put water in the root. You don't try to rub the water into the leaf or the twig. You have to pour the water on the root. And then every part of the tree is nourished, healthy. So we are parts of the great tree. Any thoughts, reflections, questions so far? Nothing? We'll keep reading. On hearing this statement of King Muchukunda, Lord Krishna replied, "My dear king, I am very much pleased with your statement. You have been the king of all the lands on this planet. But I am surprised to find that your mind is now freed from all material contamination. You are now fit to execute devotional service. I am most pleased to see that although I offered you the opportunity of asking from me any kind of benediction, you did not take advantage of asking for any material benefit. I can understand that your mind is now fixed in me, and it is not disturbed by any material fault. The material qualities are three, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. When one is placed in the mixed material qualities of passion and ignorance, he is impelled by various kinds of dirtiness and lusty desires to try to find comfort in this material world. So there are three qualities in this material world: sattva, rajas, and tamas, or goodness, passion, and ignorance. And we are like puppets, and we're being pulled by these three strings. Sometimes the mode of goodness is prominent, and we experience knowledge, happiness, regulation. When passion is prominent, we experience intense drive, eagerness, desire to enjoy fruitive results. And when ignorance is prominent, we are overcome with inertia, laziness, lack of determination, just hopelessness, depression. So these three forces, they're always acting, and they're always vying for supremacy in our life. We're being pushed and pulled by these three forces that are described as gunas, or ropes. So therefore, I said, like a puppet, we're like a puppet. So when one is under the qualities of passion and ignorance, he is impelled by various kinds of dirtiness and lusty desires to try to find comfort in this material world. When he is situated in the material quality of goodness, he tries to purify himself by performing various kinds of penances and austerities. When one reaches the platform of a real brahmana, he aspires to merge into the existence of the Lord. But when one desires simply to render service unto the lotus feet of the Lord, that is transcendental to all these three qualities. The pure Krishna conscious person is therefore always free from all material qualities. Right? The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Saganan Samatityaitan Brahma Bhoyaya Kalpate, that when one is engaged in devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, he at once comes to the level of Brahman and rises above the three material qualities. He's in the transcendental position by devotional service to Krishna. Krishna says, "My dear king, I offered to give you any kind of benediction, just to test how much you have advanced in devotional service. Now I can see that you are on the platform of the pure devotees, because your mind is not disturbed by any kind of greedy or lusty desires of this material world." The yogis who are trying to elevate themselves by controlling the senses and to meditate upon me by practicing the breathing exercises of pranayama are not so thoroughly freed from material desires. It has been seen in several cases that as soon as there is allurement, such yogis again come down to the material platform. Right? Thinking of Sabari Muni. He was meditating under the water, such a great powerful yogi he was, meditating under the water for a long time. But he happened to see two fish mating, and he was immediately agitated by sexual desire, and his meditation was finished. And of course, he went out in pursuit of such desire. So Krishna says that as soon as there is allurement, such yogis trying to elevate themselves by their own strength of sense control they again come down to the material platform because they haven't taken shelter of the real platform of sense control. What's the real platform of sense control? The real platform of sense control is service to the master of the senses, Krishna. Krishna will control your senses when we take shelter of his service. Srila Prabhupada says the vivid example verifying the statement is Vishvamitra Muni. Vishvamitra Muni was a great yogi who practiced pranayama, a breathing exercise. But still, when he was visited by Menaka, a society woman of the heavenly planet, he lost all control and begot in her a daughter named Shakuntala. But the pure devotee, Haridas Thakur, was never disturbed even when all such allurements were offered by the prostitutes. So one who is engaged in Krishna's loving service, yes, by Krishna's mercy, he is able to overcome all such allurements. Any questions? Any thoughts? Let's keep reading. My dear King, Lord Krishna continued, I therefore give you the special benediction that you will always think of me. Thus you will be able to traverse this material world freely without being contaminated by the qualities. This statement of the Lord confirms that a person in true Krishna consciousness, engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord under the direction of the spiritual master, is never subjected to the contamination of material qualities. My dear king, the Lord said, because you are a kshatriya, that means a fighter, a warrior, protector of the citizens, because you are a kshatriya, you have committed the offenses of slaughtering animals, both in hunting and in political engagements. To become purified, just engage yourself in bhakti yoga practice and always keep your mind absorbed in me. Very soon you will be freed from all reactions to such sordid activities. Srila Prabhupada writes, in this statement it appears that although the Kshatriyas are allowed to kill animals in the hunting process, they are not freed from the contamination of other sinful reactions. Therefore, it does not matter whether one is Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Brahmana. Everyone is recommended to take sannyasa at the end of life, to engage himself completely in the service of the Lord, and thus become freed from all sinful reactions of his past life. The Lord then assured King Muchukunda, in your next life, you will take your birth as a first-class Vaishnava, the best of Brahmanas, and in that life, your only business will be to engage yourself in my transcendental service. Srila Prabhupada writes, the Vaishnava is the first-class Brahmana, because one who has not acquired the qualification of a bona fide Brahmana cannot come to the platform of a Vaishnava. When one comes to the platform of a Vaishnava, he is completely engaged in welfare activities for all living entities. The highest welfare activity for all living entities, This is important, this is very salient. The highest welfare activity for living entities is, what do you think? What do we think is the highest welfare activity for all living entities? Right, some people are collecting old clothes to give to poor people in foreign countries. Some people are distributing food in charity. Some people are distributing medicines, opening hospitals. All kinds of charities are there. How many charities are registered in this country alone? There must be thousands. All welfare activities, right? But what is the highest welfare activity? Does anybody want to make a suggestion? What's that? Kanayadan. Is that what you said? Can you give a brief English? Oh, kanayadan, yes. To give your daughter in charity to a suitable husband. Yes. This is certainly recommended in the scriptures. That the duty of the father is to see that the daughter is married to a suitable person who will take care of her. That's good. That's certainly for the welfare of one's daughter. But there is a higher transcendental welfare activity. Any other thoughts? What is that? What is the greatest? What is the highest welfare activity? Anyone to guess? What is the highest welfare activity? What is the greatest thing you can do for anyone and everyone in this world? No, that's a good suggestion, right? Healthcare. Free healthcare. Nice. But it's not the highest. It's limited to this material platform. It's nice to take care of the bodily needs, right? To make sure people are healthy, because that contributes to their sense of well-being, right? But that can be like polishing the cage, the very nice cage of a budgie, while forgetting to feed the budgie in the cage. Yeah? We can do so many things for this body. But what about the soul? This body will have to be left behind. We just heard from King Muchukunda how even a king, even the body of a king, ultimately is either food for an animal, or burnt to ashes in the crematorium, or decomposes in the earth, and various worms and insects come out from it. This is the destiny of every body in this world. This body I'm sitting in right now, this body that you're looking at right now, yes? One day, hopefully, it'll be burnt to ashes, because I don't really particularly want to be eaten by an animal. I mean, not me, but I would rather the fate of this particular lump of matter that I'm sat in right now, I would rather it's burnt to ashes and my ashes are placed in the Ganga than I am left in the forest to be eaten by a wild dog, or put in the ground to decompose and be, food for worms and insects. But this is the destination of the body. That's where it ends up. So taking care of this body is okay for the time being, but it's not really doing eternal good. So Srila Prabhupada writes here that the highest welfare activity for living entities is purifying your soul. That's good. I like that answer. We're getting a lot closer, a lot hotter. Do you want to hear exactly what Srila Prabhupada says? Yeah? He says, the highest welfare activity for living entities is the preaching of Krishna consciousness. The preaching of Krishna consciousness. Because if we preach Krishna consciousness, which means Yare deke tare kaha Krishna upadesh, Amarage guraha tare edesh. Whoever you meet, wherever you go, just tell them about Krishna and tell them Krishna's instruction. Tell them what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. If you do this, you become a spiritual master and you deliver your land, your community. This is the highest welfare work. Preach Krishna consciousness, because this is the fundamental requirement of every soul. Right? This body is here for only a few years, but I'm not this body. I am the soul, and my soul will continue after my death. Where will I go? Where will I end up? Will I again be forced to take another material body, to endure another term of forgetting my real interest, just absorbed in the mundane affairs of struggling for existence in this world? Playing ball in my youth, trying to get some education, make some money, find a profession that suits me, if I'm lucky. Yeah? Maintain family members, working hard, trying to please everybody. And then in my old age, just struggling to keep body and soul together until finally I'm kicked out. How many times do we want to go through this? And it's not guaranteed that we get a human body. If we have not lived responsibly, piously, we may degrade into animal species. So this is not a very good program of activities, simply struggling for existence in this material world. If we take care of the need of the soul, and if we do those activities that take care of that need, then our trajectory is very different. Our destiny is very different. We can escape this samsara, this cycle of repeated birth and death. We can escape it altogether. And the method is very simple. Krishna consciousness, which means to hear about Krishna, chant Krishna's holy names, always remember Krishna. And there's so many opportunities for always remembering Krishna. We have so many books to hear about Krishna, right? There are so many devotees who are engaged in Krishna service. We can associate with them. They can teach us how to serve Krishna. And if we do this, we will not be the loser, rather we will be the winner in every way. Krishna promises in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, Aham Tvam Sarva Papepyo Moksha Yashami Mashucha. He says, just give up all other varieties of religion, or all other methods of religion or self-realization. Give up all other occupational duties. Just surrender to me, which means work for me. Always think of me. Become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage unto me. Be my devotee. And what will happen? If I do that, Krishna, then how will I make ends meet in this world? How will I survive? Right? This is our concern. If I give everything up to please Krishna, how will I get what I need, get what I want? Etc., etc. But Krishna says, Ma Shucha, don't fear, don't worry, don't hesitate. Moksha Yashami. Aham Tvam, Sarva Pape Pyo Moksha Yashami. I will deliver you from all papa. I will deliver you from any mistake, from any fault of neglecting whatever you think is your responsibility, whatever you think is your duty. Your only duty is to surrender to Krishna. And it's okay, you don't have to suddenly take off your clothes and walk into the forest to sit down under a tree and meditate, leaving behind your family. All you have to do is remain where you are. You can stay in your job, you can remain with your family, but dedicate your body, mind, and words to hearing about Krishna from Krishna's devotees. Stane stita shuti gitam tanuvang manobhir. Ye prayasho jita jitopya sitaistrilokya. All we have to do is hear about Krishna from Krishna's devotees. And there are so many books in which we can hear about Krishna. Srila Prabhupada tirelessly worked to give us these wonderful books. And if we do that, then what happens? Krishna says, I become conquered by you. He is known as Ajita, unconquerable. No one can conquer God. But God agrees to be conquered by one who dedicates themselves to the path of hearing about Him. This is what we have to do in order to become truly free. So the highest welfare activity for living entities is the preaching of Krishna consciousness, because that will do good to us and it will do good to others. It will do good to others. Everybody needs to know about their best friend, Krishna. Everybody needs to know about the soul of their soul, Krishna. This is the fundamental need of every living entity. And if we tell them about Krishna, then we are giving them not just a meal, not just a little health care, not just something for a few years. We are giving them eternal life. We are giving them immortality. Srila Prabhupada finishes this chapter by saying, "It is stated herein that those who are specifically favored by the Lord can become absolutely Krishna conscious and be engaged in the preaching works of the Vaishnava philosophy." So let's become favored by Krishna. Let's ask Krishna, "My dear Lord, please favor me. Please give me your extreme special mercy by which I can be absolutely Krishna conscious and engaged in preaching." Waiting. And today's verse is, it was just on the screen a second ago. It should be 7:2.
Jai. So we'll now have a Bhagavad Gita class on chapter 7, verse 2. Vishnu Padaya Krishna Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshta Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Namaste Saraswati Gauravacharine Nirvishesha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Jai Shri Krishna Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Jaya Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Lord Premanandi Hari Hari Bol Welcome to the Bhaktivedanta Manor. So now we'll have class on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 2. That's on the screen. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Okay. So, we'll first do the word-to-word translation so we understand what the verse means, and then the translation. So, Jnanam is phenomenal knowledge. Te unto you, aham I, say which, Vijnanam numinous knowledge, idam thus, Vakshami shall explain, Asheshataha in full, yat which, Gyatva knowing, nay not, 3 in this world, Bhuyaha further, Anyat anything more, Jnanam knowable, Gyatavyam knowable, Avashishyate remains. So the translation by Srila Prabhupada, I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. Thus being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. So the verse is, Jnanam teham savijnanam. You can repeat this, it's on the screen. Please try. Because these are transcendental words spoken by Krishna. So even if he cannot speak perfectly, we can still try. So, Jnanam teham savijnanam. Idam vakshami asheshataha. Yajgyatva neha bhuyonyaj. Gyatavyam avashishyate. So here Lord Krishna is speaking to Arjun on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. As we know, Bhagavad Gita was spoken on the battlefield of Kurukshetra about 5,000 years ago. So with chapter 7, the Bhakti Yoga section of the Bhagavad Gita starts. So in the first 6 chapters, Krishna primarily talks about Karma Yoga. And then from chapter 7 to 12, he talks about Bhakti Yoga. And in the last 6 chapters, 13 to 18, he talks about Jnana Yoga. So Karma Yoga, the essence of the knowledge in Karma Yoga is Krishna is talking about work with detachment. In the Bhakti Yoga section, which starts from chapter 7, he talks about work with devotion. Instead of detachment, you work with devotion. So this is the middle section of the Gita, most important section, and later on he talks about Jnana Yoga. So when I say Krishna talks about Karma Yoga in the first 6 chapters, that is the primary teaching. He also talks about Dhyana Yoga and Jnana Yoga. Primarily he talks about Karma Yoga. So the chapter is entitled Knowledge of the Absolute. So the absolute truth is realized in 3 stages, Brahman, Paramatma and Bhagwan. So when a person links, what is yoga? Yoga means to link. Yoga does not mean physical exercises. That's part of it, but that's not what it means. Yoga means to link. And with yoga, when we link to Krishna, then it becomes Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga. So when you link with Krishna by the karma, by your prescribed activities, it is Karma Yoga. When you perform Karma Yoga, when you perform your prescribed duties in the mood of detachment, you attain transcendental knowledge. So then you come to Jnana Yoga. When knowledge matures into meditation, it becomes Dhyana Yoga. And when meditation matures into devotion, it becomes bhakti yoga. So it's like a yoga ladder. So these different types of yogas are the different rungs on the yoga ladder. So this chapter, Krishna begins. So this is the beginning of the Bhakti Yoga section. So in the previous chapter, Krishna, so in the last verse of the previous chapter, in fact before that, the second last verse, so Krishna, so that's the Dhyana Yoga chapter, and Krishna says that a yogi is greater than the ascetic. Ascetic, someone who performs austerities, tapasya. Right? Greater than the jnani and greater than the fruitful worker. Therefore, O Arjun, in all circumstances, be a yogi. Most of you know about Ramdev Baba, the one who teaches yoga. So one time Ramdev Baba came to the manor during Janmashtami. I don't know if you're there, Prabhu. So in the big pandal is invited to give a talk. So Ramdev Baba quoted this verse in his talk. He was trying to say that the yogi is the best. So he quoted this verse 6.46, where Krishna says, a yogi is greater than the ascetic, greater than the empiricist, greater than the fruitful worker. Basically, Krishna is saying yogi is better than jnani and karmi. Therefore, Arjun, in all circumstances, be a yogi. So Ramdev Baba brought forward this message that Krishna wants everyone to be a yogi. And he concluded his talk with that. But after that, spoke our temple president, I think it was Kauri Prabhu at the time. And then he spoke the next verse, which concludes the chapter, in which Krishna says, what yogi? Yes, yogi, but what type of yogi? So Krishna talks about being a bhakti yogi, right? So Krishna says, and of all yogis, so this is the final verse of the previous chapter. Krishna says, and of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service, bhakti, unto me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion. So it's not just any yogi, right? So yes, so a Gyan yogi is also a yogi, a Karma yogi is also a yogi, an Ashtanga yogi is also a yogi. But then you need to understand who is the topmost yogi. That is the Bhakti yogi, as Krishna concludes in chapter 6. So then Krishna continues on with the theme, and so from chapter 7, first verse, Krishna says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. So Krishna is talking about Bhakti Yoga here when he says, by practicing yoga in full. But Krishna is talking about, most importantly, he's talking about now hear. He's talking about the process of hearing. So Bhakti Yoga, there are 9 limbs of Bhakti Yoga. It starts with Shravanam, Kirtanam. So Shravan means hear. Kirtan means to chant. Right? So Krishna is telling Arjuna to hear. How? To do what after hearing? To attach your mind to me. When you hear with your mind fully attached to me, what does Krishna say? You can know me in full, free from doubt, without any doubt. But is it possible to know Krishna in full? Forget about knowing Krishna in full. You know, there are some married people here. Can they claim that they know their wife or husband fully? Even though they live with the wife or husband all the time. But can they claim they know them fully? No, they cannot. I mean, they know them better than others, but nobody can claim that they know them fully. So when Krishna is saying, with your mind attached to me, you know me in full. How is that possible? So, anyways, we'll talk about that. And in this verse, today's verse, Krishna is saying, I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Once you know this knowledge, nothing else is there to be known. So when Krishna says phenomenal and numinous, phenomenal means the knowledge of the world, the knowledge of matter. And numinous means knowledge of spirit, spiritual knowledge. So Krishna is talking about both material knowledge and spiritual knowledge. So, Prabhuji, can you move it to the translation? So Krishna is talking about both the knowledges. And Prabhupada explains in the purport. So thanks to His Divine Grace, Abhay Chanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, at the ripe age of 69, Prabhupada went from India to the US, Boston, on a cargo ship. Not an Air India flight, he went on a cargo ship. He suffered 2 heart attacks on the way. Can you imagine if you could do at the age of 69? And then he translated all these books for us. Thanks to him, these are like the windows into the spiritual world. We know something about Krishna thanks to all the efforts Prabhupada made. So we can do him a favor by reading the books he has written that reveals Krishna's heart to us. So Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, and the source of both of them. Yes, so you know the material knowledge, you know the spiritual knowledge, but you also know the person behind these two. Yeah. This is transcendental knowledge. Sorry, is it my phone? Someone's phone, okay. The Lord wants to explain the above mentioned system of knowledge because Arjuna is Krishna's confidential devotee and friend. Now Prabhupada is talking about the qualification to understand Krishna. The qualification is, as Prabhupada says, that the Lord wants to explain the above mentioned system of knowledge because Arjuna is Krishna's confidential devotee and friend. You need to be a devotee, Sakha and Bhakta, and friend, who is non-envious to Krishna. In the beginning of the 4th chapter, this explanation was given by the Lord, and it is again confirmed here. Complete knowledge can be achieved only by the devotee of the... Must be me, God. Sorry, brother-in-law. So Krishna explains this knowledge to Arjuna because Arjuna is his devotee and a friend. And is again confirmed here. Complete knowledge can be achieved only by the devotee of the Lord in disciplic succession, directly from the Lord. Krishna explains in chapter 4, Evam parampara praptam imam rajasho vidu. Evam parampara means in the disciplic succession, this knowledge is obtained. In the Guru Shishya parampara, which starts from Krishna himself. Therefore, one should be intelligent enough to know the source of all knowledge, who is the cause of all causes, and the only object for meditation in all types of yoga practice. When the cause of all causes becomes known, then everything knowable becomes known, and nothing remains unknown. And then Prabhupada refers to the Mundaka Upanishad. So there's a verse in the Gita. So Prabhupada talks about Arjuna's qualification to understand the Bhagavad Gita here. And so there's a verse in chapter 4 where Krishna says, Sa evayam maya tedya yoga prokta puratana bhakto si me sakha cheti rahasyam hi etad uttamam. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, the very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. So if we are friendly towards Krishna, then there is a chance we can understand this knowledge. And then Prabhupada in the purport talks about the cause of all causes. So Prabhupada is saying, once you know the cause of all causes, what is there to know? So there is a verse in the Brahma Samhita where, so cause of all causes is Sarva Karan Karanam. So Lord Brahma glorifies Lord Krishna in Brahma Samhita. It says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adi Govinda Sarva Karan Karanam. Who is the Sarva Karan Karanam? Lord Brahma says Govinda. Who is Govinda? Anadi. Anadir Adi. Who does not have any Adi or Ant. No beginning, no end. So Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the Supreme Godhead. He is an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and he is the prime cause of all causes. So once you know the prime cause of all causes, you know everything. But still the question remains. So Krishna says, this being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Can you know everything about Krishna? Is it possible? It is not possible, because even it is not even possible for Krishna himself to explain all his glories. So chapter 10, which is called the opulence of the absolute. So in the chapter 10, Arjuna asks Krishna, "Oh Krishna, can you please explain to me all your opulences?" And what do you think Krishna says? "Yes, fine, I'll explain." No. Krishna says, "Yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent. O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless." In Srimad Bhagavatam it is said that Anantashesh, have you seen the picture of Lord Vishnu? He is lying on Anantashesha, the snake bed. So Anantashesha with his thousands of hoods, from time immemorial he is glorifying, he is enumerating the qualities of Krishna. And even if he does that till eternity, he will not be able to completely enumerate all the glories or opulences of Krishna. So it is because it is unlimited. So it is not possible for us to understand Krishna in full. So that's why we need to take shelter of the acharyas, of the spiritual master. So the acharyas explain that when Krishna says you'll know everything without doubt, that means you will know everything that is of essence. Right? So Krishna gives an essence in the Gita. He cannot talk about each and every detail of his opulences. So there was, and also the difference between material knowledge and spiritual knowledge, as I was speaking to Jay on the way, is so material knowledge can be obtained by studying books, but spiritual knowledge, if you have books, Gita, Bhagavatam, yes, we can study them, but the difference between material knowledge and spiritual knowledge is revealed to us, right? So, Shri Radha Gokulanand ki jai, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Man ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. So Krishna reciprocates with our devotion, our sincerity, and Krishna reveals to us what we need to know about him. Sufficient enough for us to perform bhakti. Right? It is like, you know what rasgulla is. Everyone knows rasgulla. So when the rasgulla is put in sugar syrup, depending on the size of the rasgulla, it will absorb the sugar syrup. Right? If the rasgulla is small, it will absorb less syrup. But if it's a big rasgulla, it will absorb more syrup. Similarly, depending on whether you are a big rasgulla or a small rasgulla, you will absorb or assimilate the knowledge about Krishna. But if we are sincere in our devotion, then Krishna will reveal what we need to know about him. Right? We cannot understand Krishna in full, nor there is a need. Who is the topmost devotee of Krishna? Who do you see on the altar with Krishna? Who's on the altar with Krishna? Not me or you, somebody else for sure. Who's there? Who can tell? Is that a tough question? Yeah, Radharani. So Radharani is the topmost devotee of Krishna. And what does she do? No one knows Krishna better than her. So after knowing Krishna so well, what does she do? She serves Krishna. When the curtain opens, when you take darshan, you see what Radharani is doing. Radharani's got a garland in her hand. I don't know if you have noticed, but when the curtain opens, please notice, she has a garland in her hand for Krishna. So she's always serving Krishna, right? So we do not need to, reinvent the wheel here. We can learn from the topmost devotee what we need to do. We need to serve Krishna, right? So worship can be used for demigods, devatas, like in reverence, we offer our respects. But service in devotion is used only for Krishna. Right? So bhakti does not mean just say I'm a devotee of Krishna, read the Gita, read Bhagavatam, but do nothing for Krishna. If you love somebody, you show by doing something for them, right? You just can't say I love you, I love you, I love you, and do nothing for that person, isn't it? So if it in a material relationship, if you love somebody, you want to do so much for that person. So similarly, Krishna is a person. So we show our love for Krishna by doing something for him. So what could we do? We could do so many things. But at the least, as Krishna says in the Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Yume Bhaktiya Prayachati, you can offer a fruit, a flower, a leaf, or water to Krishna. Right? And even if you do not have a deity of Krishna at home, you can offer it to a picture of Krishna. Right? Krishna accepts it. But you need to do something for Krishna. Right? When you come to the temple, you can bring flowers for Krishna, with which the devotees can make garland that could be offered to Krishna. Or you could sweep the floor of the temple, or you could give donation so that prasadam could be served to devotees. Or you could chant the holy names, you could read the Bhagavad Gita. I mean, there's so many things you could do. Everyone can do something for Krishna. But if you have some love for Krishna, we'll think about it. What can I do for Krishna? What can I do? That should be an anxiety, right? That is the spiritual anxiety. That is transcendental anxiety. We have so many different types of anxiety. Oh, what can I do for this person or that person? And even if we do so many things all our life, still that person is not grateful because you didn't do that thing on that day. Arey bhai, I've been serving you all my life. No, but that day you didn't do that thing. Relationship ends. Right? Krishna is not like that. Even Krishna, it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, Neha Bhikraman Ashosti. Means even a little advancement on this path can save us from the greatest type of danger. Right? Krishna will not forget any little that you do for him. And Hare Krishna. So this one pastime of Lord Chaitanya, when he went to South India, there's a place called Tiruchirappalli, where there's a temple of Lord Ranganath. Has anyone been there to the temple of Lord Ranganath? No? Okay. So Lord Chaitanya, who was Krishna himself in the form of his devotee, incarnated in India about 500 years ago, he went on a South India tour. And when he went to this temple, he saw one Brahmana sitting in the corner. He had Bhagavad Gita in his hands and he was crying. And he saw that there were other Brahmanas sitting nearby and they were ridiculing him. So Lord Chaitanya found out that the others were ridiculing him because he was uneducated. So, of course, he was not reading Prabhupada's Gita, he was reading Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit. So everyone knew that this Brahmana does not know Sanskrit. He cannot read Sanskrit. So if he cannot read Sanskrit, so they thought he was pretending. So Lord Chaitanya went up to that Brahmana and asked him, why are you crying? And why are these people ridiculing you? So he said that my Guru has instructed me to read the Gita every day. And I'm illiterate. But because it is my Guru's order, I'm trying to, or rather pretending to read the Gita. Because, so did the Guru not know he was illiterate? The Guru knew he was illiterate. But the Guru still asked him to read the Gita every day. Right? So he was obeying the order of the Guru. Right? And of course he didn't know Sanskrit, so he's pretending to read because he had to fulfill the desire, the instruction of the Guru. And others knew he doesn't know Sanskrit, so that's why they ridiculed him. So then Lord Chaitanya asked, if you cannot read, why are you crying? Why do you have tears in your eyes? So, I don't know if... So there's a picture, on the front page of the Gita, there's a picture of Krishna and Arjun. So, Krishna is driving the chariot of Arjun. So this is a very menial position. Trust me, you won't even do for a friend. What it entails is, so you could see there are millions of people on the battlefield. You cannot even hear. So if Arjun has to tell anything to Krishna, Krishna cannot hear because there's so much noise, millions of people fighting at the same time. So if Arjun has to tell Krishna to turn right, he will kick on his right shoulder. And then Krishna will know he has to turn right. If he has to turn left, he'll kick on the left shoulder. So Krishna will turn the chariot left. So when the Brahmana saw this picture, he had tears in his eyes because he could realize the Bhaktavatsal form of Krishna. Right? So Lord Chaitanya said that your understanding of the Gita is complete. because you have understood the essence. So similarly, it is not possible for us to know everything about Krishna, but we need to understand the essence. So on this verse, interestingly, one time Srila Prabhupada was with his disciples and there was a question and answer session, and a disciple asked a question about this particular verse that we are reading today. And so the disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that one who knows him knows everything. Is it possible? Do you think it's possible? So Krishna is so in this verse is saying that this being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. So the disciples asked Prabhupada, is it possible for someone to know everything if they know about Krishna? So that's why we need the shelter of the acharyas to understand what Krishna means by what he says, right? So then Srila Prabhupada explained, yes, because if he knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he knows everything. That's all. Right? If someone knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that's all there to be known. Right? Because once you know Krishna is the Supreme, because this is the message, right? People read the whole Gita. Trust me, there are so many people I've met. They've read the Gita. If you ask them who's God, they talk about some impersonal, within. It says Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. You will see there are many translations of the Gita. They do not publish a picture of Krishna on the Gita. They do not talk about. They talk about Krishna as a powerful person, as a king. They do not accept Krishna as God. Even though in Bhagavad Gita, every time Krishna says, like for example, the first verse starts with Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Does it leave any doubt in your mind? Who is Krishna? It says Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, means Bhagavan is speaking. God is speaking. But because they have envy in their heart for Krishna, they cannot understand Krishna. That's why Prabhupada in the purport explains that the qualification to understand Krishna, and he says, Arjun, why I gave you this knowledge is because you are a devotee and a friend. This is the two essential qualification. That's why you'll see so many translations of Bhagavad Gita, but no one becomes a devotee of Krishna. Why? Because they take out Krishna from the Gita. They use Gita as an instrument to glorify themselves, unfortunately. This is why the title of Prabhupada's translation is Bhagavad Gita as it is. Right? So Prabhupada has not tempered with the original message. Right? He's presented the Bhagavad Gita as it is. So when Krishna says about phenomenal, numinous nature, so as I said, this is the Bhakti Yoga section of the Bhagavad Gita, and so phenomenal and numinous refer to the material nature and the spiritual nature. It also refers to the energy of Krishna, the greatness of Krishna. So Krishna talks about his greatness in chapters 7 and 8. Then he talks about his sweetness, his personality, his character in chapters 9, 10 and 11. So this is where, and there are 4 shlokas in the Gita which are called Chatur Shloki Gita, which represent the essence of the Gita. They are in chapter 10. Right? So this is the essence. So all the verses that are related to devotional service, to Bhakti Yoga, are in these chapters, like the verse Patram Pushpam Phulam Tuyam or Aham Sarvasya Prabho. All the verses are in these chapters. So in order to understand Krishna, we need the shelter of the acharyas, the gurus. Otherwise we can read the whole Gita, we'll understand nothing. Why? Because when you read the scriptures, at times there are conflicting statements. Right? So you will be confused why Krishna is saying like that. At one place he's talking like this, other place he's talking like that. That's why you need the shelter of Acharya to explain to you. When Krishna says everything, what he means is this. Because Krishna, you will be confused. In the first verse, Krishna says, you will know me in full. But in the 10th chapter, he says, you cannot know me in full. Why? Because my opulences are limitless. I'll only talk about a few of them, the prominent ones. But it is limitless. Right? So So Bhakti Yoga, as I said, there are 9 processes of Bhakti Yoga. As Prahlad Maharaj speaks in the Bhagavatam, there's a verse, it says, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaran Pada Sevanam. It says, Shri Prahlad Uvacha, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaran Pada Sevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. So the first process is Shravanam, means hearing. So you can know Krishna by hearing, right? So, and also in the first verse of this chapter, Krishna talks about hearing. Krishna says, you engage, now hear, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga and full consciousness of me with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. So unless you hear about Krishna, you cannot know him in full. But then the next question is, hear from where? So hearing is not just sitting in a class and hear. Hearing is also reading the Gita and the Bhagavatam. So when you read the purports by Srila Prabhupada, so you are hearing from Srila Prabhupada directly. So when Srila Prabhupada was asked by his disciples, once you leave the world, how will we associate with you? Srila Prabhupada said, you will associate with me by my books. When you read my books, you will associate with me directly. So these purports, it helps us associate with. So hearing also means reading. So when you read from the bona fide, so it's important because as I said, there are so many translations of Gita available. I mean, I also tried to read some of them in India. It was so convoluted. I just gave up. I closed it and kept it away because I could not make any sense of it. But when first time when I came in contact with Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, it immediately made sense to me. It was like, wow. So it is. But what it is because Krishna is seated as Paramatma in our heart. If we have a sincere desire to understand, to know Krishna, to serve Krishna, He will reveal to us the direction. He will make arrangement, right? If there is a sincere desire, you will see. You can talk to any devotee here. It all started with the desire to know Krishna, to serve Krishna. Right? He can reveal. He'll reciprocate with your desire. Right? This process is very scientific. So that's why the importance is given on chanting and hearing about Krishna. There are other processes as well. So the perfect example of hearing is explained is Parikshit Maharaj, who was cursed to die within 7 days. And the perfect example of Kirtanam or speaking is Shukadeva Goswami spoke the Gita, Bhagavatam for 7 days. So when Shukadeva Goswami is speaking the Bhagavatam in the middle of maybe after 3 days or so, he asked Parikshit if he wanted to take rest because he must be tired. He was sitting in rapt attention hearing Bhagavatam for 3 days. And he said, no. But if you'll stop, I may get tired, right? So Krishna reciprocates with our desire. So he had the desire and Krishna arranged for Shukadeva Goswami to come on the scene and recite Srimad Bhagavatam to him. Similarly, if you have a desire, then Krishna will reciprocate with our desire. This process is very scientific. You should try. If you have not chanted, please chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It was revealed by Lord Brahma to Narad Muni. There's mentioned in Kalisantran Upanishad. And what it does to us is when we chant the holy names of Krishna, as Sri Chaitanya mentions in Shikshastak, that Cheto Darpan Marjanam. So Cheto means Chit, our consciousness. Darpan means mirror, and Marjana means cleansing. So as we chant the holy names of the Lord, the mirror of our conscience is cleansed. So if the mirror is covered with dust, you cannot see. But when the mirror is cleansed of dust, you can see clearly. So similarly, the mirror of our consciousness is covered by dust of material conditioning. So this is not our first and last birth, right? We are on a journey. 8,400,000 species of life. We've been through a lot. Janma Mrityu, Krishna says in the Gita towards the end, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. So Janma Mrityu, birth, death, Jara, old age, Vyadhi, disease. Krishna says, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, Dukh, Doshanu. These are dukkha. These are the real miseries. Anudarshanam. So darshan is when the curtain opens, you'll take darshan of the Lord. Anudarshanam is repeatedly you see. You repeatedly see what? Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Why? Because in every lifetime, you go through birth, death, old age and disease. This is the real dukkha. And unless we take the shelter of Lord Krishna, as he explains from chapters 7 to 12, you cannot get out of this cycle. So it's not that God does not like us and he has thrown us into this whirlpool. No, he likes us. That's why he has spoken the Gita. That's why he's arranged for his pure devotees to translate, to explain his message to everyone. Right? And it's only in the human form of life we can understand this message. Right? So we can, it is like Prabhupada explains that we can use a human form of life for ahar, nidra, bhay, maithun, for eating, sleeping, mating and defending, like animals or aquatics, other living entities. But it is as good as using sandalwood for cooking. You know the importance of sandalwood. It's very rarely found. And if you get a block of sandalwood, you don't use it for cooking because it's so precious. But that's what we are doing with our lives. Our human life is like sandalwood, but we are using it for cooking because we don't know, or we have rather not tried to find out the purpose of human life. Because once we go into the lower species of life, for a cat or a dog, or a fish or a tree, there is no hope for understanding Bhagavad Gita. They cannot chant the holy names, right? So if you kick a dog, you get the karma, but if a dog barks at you, the dog doesn't get any karma. Why do you get a karma? Because you have higher intelligence. Krishna gave you higher intelligence, right? So, but if you use that higher intelligence to do a lowly act, then you are liable for punishment, right? So similarly, when we are given human form of life, we must inquire, who am I? Right? We should not live like cats and dogs. Like, you see, cats and dogs also have their families, they have kids, they look after their children, right? They go through the same Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi cycle. They also get disease, we also get disease. They also die, we also die. But this is the real pain, old age. One time I was talking to a devotee, he said, the only thing I fear in my life is old age. I don't want to be old. Right? So these are the real miseries. But Krishna says, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, Dukha, Dosha, Anudarshanam. You'll have to see them again and again. Anudarshanam means repeatedly you'll have to see them. Why? Because unless you come out of this repeated cycle, you'll have to go through it. We've forgotten the pain of birth, but you have to ask a mother what the pain of birth is. The baby forgets. When the baby grows up, baby doesn't remember. If you ask her, she won't know. But you ask her mother, she would know how painful it is to give birth to a child. So it's not only death, birth, death, old age, disease are all painful experiences. So why should we go through them again and again and again, right? And for what? What are we getting? And you know, in the Bible it is said that you should make your treasure in the kingdom of God, right? Because regardless of how many millions you accumulate here, you can take nothing with you at the time of death. All you will take is the holy name of Krishna. If you've chanted in your life, that will save you. As Krishna says in the Gita, Neha Bhikrama Nashosti Pratyavyayo na vidyate Salpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. A little progress on this path will save you from the greatest type of fear or danger, which is what? Death. Right? So, we should be, and even if we do not have time to read the scriptures, we can at least do some service for Krishna, right? So for example, as I said previously, there's so much we can do for Krishna. We can bring flowers or fruits for Krishna, we can make donation, we can volunteer our services. We all have some talents that can be used in the service of Krishna. So what will happen is, slowly and gradually, as you will serve Krishna, your consciousness will start to transform, right? And once your consciousness transforms, then, you know, it's said that when you take one step towards Krishna, Krishna takes 1,000 steps towards you. So please take that first step. Like today you all have come to the temple, so you have engaged your, so it is also explained that we should engage our senses in the service of Krishna, because it is explained in another place in the Gita that higher than the senses is the mind, and higher than the mind is the intelligence, and higher than the intelligence is the soul. So it is not easy to engage the mind. Mind is always disturbed, right? But it is easier to engage the senses. How? Like you can hear, you're hearing about Krishna right now, so you're engaging your senses. If I ask you to, sweep the floor, you might do it. But if I ask you to sit in the corner and chant the Hare Krishna mantra, you may not do it. Why? Because the mind will be agitated. Mind doesn't want to. See, our mind has no interest to go back to the spiritual world. Mind is happy here. Why? Because when we die, it is the body that dies, but the mind doesn't die. So mind carries all the impressions. Mind is like the repository, the storehouse of all the thoughts or the impressions we have. So that's why when you see that some people are afraid of dark, some people are afraid of heights. Why? Two children born of the same mother, one is afraid of heights and one is not. Why? Because he's carrying the conditioning from his past life. So mind is the same. The body dies at the time of death, but the soul goes into the next body, in the subtle body. Subtle body is made of mind, intelligence and ego. So our mind, intelligence and ego go to the next body. So mind associates with the senses and mind associates with the intelligence. So the way to purify the mind is to engage the senses in the service of Krishna. So today you have used your legs to come to the temple of the Lord. You will use your eyes to see the beautiful form of the Lord. You are using your ears to hear about Krishna. And similarly, you can use your nose to smell the flowers that are offered to the deities. You can use your tongue to honor Krishna Prasad. So after Arti, they'll be serving Krishna Prasad. So by engaging our senses in the service of Krishna, gradually the mind gets purified, right? So Krishna says for one whose mind is so mind can be your greatest friend and a greatest enemy, right? There are people who commit suicide. Why? Because the mind tells them to jump. Who tells you to jump? When you go to the top of the building, your mind tells you to jump. Do this experiment. If you want to understand what is your mind, you are not your mind, you need to understand. You are Atma, your soul, right? You have intelligence. So your intelligence will tell you, no, don't be silly, don't jump. But your mind will say, jump. Right? So then you know you are different from your mind. Just a small example. So it is very important that we somehow or other purify our mind by engaging our senses in the service of Krishna. Once the mind is purified, then listen to the intelligence. Otherwise, intelligence become weak and mind. It's like the good dog and the bad dog. If you feed the bad dog more, the good dog becomes weak. So the good dog is the intelligence, right? So you can feed mind with all sorts of sense gratification. You can see some, I don't know, there's so many movies you can see and it will immediately contaminate your consciousness, right? You hear something bad about somebody, you hear some gossip, it immediately contaminates your consciousness. So when you engage your senses in otherworldly activities, it contaminates your consciousness. But when you engage the same senses in hearing about Krishna, in serving Krishna, in seeing Krishna, in using your senses in relation to Krishna, then slowly, gradually your mind gets purified and it becomes peaceful. Only when your mind becomes peaceful, you can chant. As Lord Chaitanya says, what's that verse? You can constantly chant the holy name. Amani na mane dena kirtan trinadapi sunichena tarorapi saishnana amani na mane dena kirtanya sadahari. So only in that conscience, when you think that you are lower than the straw on the street, so Prabhupada said in one place that your greatness will be tested when you are provoked. How you respond when you are provoked. That's when your greatness, you might be a very great person, but the test of your greatness is when you are provoked. In a provoking situation, how you respond, that is your test, right? So Lord Chaitanya and Shakshi says, Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi saishna, be tolerant, more tolerant than a tree. You cut a tree, the tree doesn't say anything, right? Amanina manadena, not expecting any respect from others and giving all respect to others. Kirtane sada Hari. Once you have this consciousness, you can always chant the holy name of Hari. That is the formula. But how you cannot, it's not like a switch, you turn it on. No, it is a process. Right? right? So this is the process of Bhakti Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Padasevanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam. So this is a process. It starts with Shravanam, starts with hearing. Once you hear, your consciousness slowly gets purified, and then you'll be able to engage your senses in the service of Krishna. And slowly and gradually, it won't happen overnight. Once your consciousness is purified, at the time of death, you will be, Krishna says in the Gita, Ant kale cha maveva smaran muktva kalevaram. At the time of death, whatever state of being you remember, you will attain that state. So if you remember Krishna, you'll go back to Krishna law. If you remember your pet dog, you'll become a dog in your next life. Right? So it's good to have pets at home, but don't be too attached to them. So it is your attachment. So that's why Krishna in the first verse of chapter 7 says, Maya Sakta Mana, Arjuna, attach your mind to me by hearing about me. Yeah? Thank you. We'll now have Aarti. Please, call rise.
Jai Shishi Gorita, Shishi Siddhartha Brahma, Jai Shishi Varanga. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Little slower. Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaura Chander Arotiko Shobha. Jaya Jaya Gaura Chander Arotiko. Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaura Chander Aratika Shobha. Jaya Jaya Gaura Chander Aratika Shobha. Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaura Chander Aratika Shobha. Jana Vitatavane Jagamana Lobha. Jana Vitatavane Jagamana Lobha. Gaurangira Rotik Shobha Jaga Janamana Lobha. Dakine Nitai Chand Bame Gadadhara. Dakine Nitai Chand Bame Gadadhara Nikate Advaita Srini Vasa Chatradhara Nikate Advaita Srini Vasa Chatradhara Boshiya Chigora Chand Ratna Simhasane Boshiya Chigora Chand Ratna Simhasane Boshiya Chigora Chand Ratna Simhasane Arati Koren Brahma Adi Devagane Arati Koren Brahma Adi Devagane Narari Ari Kori Shamaradulaya Narari Ari Kori Shamaradulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Bashu Ghosh Adigaya Sanjaya Mukunda Bashu Ghosh Adigaya Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karatala Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karatala Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramarasala Madhura Mridanga Baje Paramarasala Shanka Baje Ganta Baje Madhur 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 Baje Shanka baje, ganta baje, matur, matur, matur baje. Shanka baje, ganta baje, matur, matur, matur baje. Shanka ganta baje, matur, matur, matur. Haribol, 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 Nitai Gora Haribol. Nitai Gora Haribol, 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 Nitai Gora Haribol. Bahu Koti Chandrajini Vadana Ujvala. Bahu Koti Chandrajini Bahu Koti Chandrajini Vadana Ujvala. Gala deshe bana mala, kori jala mala. Gala deshe bana mala, kori jala mala. Shiva Shuka Narada Preme Gada Gada. Shiva Shuka Narada Preme Gada Gada. Shiva Shuka Narada Preme Gada Gada. Bhakti Vinoda Reke Gaurara Sampada. Bhakti Vinoda Reke Gaurara Sampada. Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaura Chandra Arati Ko Shobha. Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaura Chandra Arati Ko Shobha. Janavita Tavane Jagamana Lobha. Janavita Tavane Jagamana Lobha. Gaurangira Shobha Jaga Janamana Lobha. Gaurangira Gaurangiraro Tikshobha Jagajanna Manalobha Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please everybody bow down, heads touching the floor, and we will chant prayers, Prematvani prayers. Yes, that's it. Nice example, right at the front. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashto Tarasata Shri Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Ashto Tarasata Shri Srimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinata Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ki, Shri Shri Gauranitai Ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki, Shri Navadvip Dham Ki, Ganga Mai Ki, Yamuna Mai Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, Tulasi Devi Ki, Sama Veta Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Jayanitai Gaur Premanandi Hari. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories onto the lotus feet of Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So please be seated and we will chant prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev, if you're not sure who that is. Front left on the wall next to the altar. Yes, there's a portrait of the Lord, half man, half lion incarnation. Please be seated. We're going to chant prayers because the Lord in this form offers one special protection. Hare Krishna.
Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlad Daine Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Hilatankhana Kalae हितो न सिमो परतो न सिमो यतो यतो यामित तो न सिमो बाहे न सिमो हृदये न सिमो नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे अवकर कमल वरे नखान अद्भुत श्रृंगार गालितार हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृंगा केशवदीता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे कमल वरे बुध श्रृंगार ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृंगा केशवदीता नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद श्री नरसिंह भगवान की प्रहलाद महाराज की गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. Thank you very much all for attending the Aarti. Prasadam is now being served outside in the adjacent room, and the next Aarti will be at 9 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you.